If you are interested in numbers, data, and charts, this video is for you. If not, go away. This is Colorado Springs real estate. We're going to go over everything that's happened in May using data. Let's go. This first thing that I want to show you is the PPMLS statistics cumulative summary. This covers just single family homes and patio homes. So it doesn't cover condos and townhouses, and that tends to skew the average and median sales prices down a bit, obviously. So just looking at houses, if you're interested in houses, this is for the month of May. Actually, this is for all of recorded time. This goes all the way down to 1985. Ooh. But up here, May 2023, total active single family homes, 1,750, 1,243 sales in total. Year-to-date sales, 4,924. The average sales price for May was $536,478. The median sales price, $475,000. That's a little bit different from what we will see upcoming here, where the average and median sales price for all property in Colorado Springs is about like 25K less than that. It's like 500 average, 450 median. Well, look at it. I could be lying. April, very similar, a couple hundred fewer total actives, same with the sales. The average and median sales price was down a little bit, 532,000, 459,000 for the median. If we want to compare year to year, we can look at last May and go, okay, so this year, oh, I get AI prompts now. AI is the future. We get this May we had 1,750 total active listings. Last May we had 1,365. So we actually had a little bit less inventory at this time last year. Sales, we actually had more sales. Last May we had 1,689 sales. This May we've got 1,243. Year-to-date sales last year, in May, by May, we had 6,607. This year, we've got 4,924. So, sales is down, inventory is down year over year. Last May, the average sales price was 554,000 and the median sales price was 487,000. Isn't it strange how we are almost at the exact same point price-wise that we were last year? And I'm telling people this, like our high point was July of last year, where the average sales price was 557,000, the median sales price was 482,000. Where are we at now? 536K and 475K. We are almost there. All it takes is one more month for the home prices to just come back and be right where they were at the highest that they ever were in Colorado Springs or anywhere was last July. And now we're coming up on that again. And I don't know what to make of that other than I think this is just a new normal, folks. Okay, this is a listing and sales summary. So now we're just going to focus on May because that's what you came here for. What's been going on now? So this is the monthly summary for on the left, you've got all homes, and on the right, you've got existing homes. And what that means is you've got new construction homes included on the left, and you've got just the pre-existing homes on the right. So you can screenshot this if you want, but I'm going to go over some of the highlights here. Um, we already looked at the number of new listings and sales, and I kind of did that with you already, where you could see a year to year and a month to month change, where you can see the new listings have increased just a little bit from last month, but overall we're down. We're down 27.7% in terms of new listings from last year. We're down 26.4% in sales from last year, from May last year. We're down 3.2% on the average sales price and 2.5% on the median sales price. And if you want to reinterpret that or say that in another way, like I said, we're only 2.5 to 3.2% away from reaching again the highest prices that Colorado Springs has ever seen. Total actives, we looked at that, and that's we're actually at a 28.2% increase over this time last year. So we do have more available for sale. It's just sales are fewer. I think I reversed that in the past thing. I said there was fewer actives now. There's more actives now. The months of supply, we're at 1.4 months. We'd need 4 to 6 months of inventory to have a balanced market between buyers and sellers. But uh, I don't know what to call this market because you still have buyers. You have buyers because the inventory is so overall low. I mean, yes, we had more than last year, but inventory is still low. It's 1.4 months of inventory. Last year we had zero point 0.8. So, although yes, there's more for sale now than there was last year, it's still low inventory. There's still not a lot to pick through overall. You don't have a whole lot of options and you do have competition. So let's do a quick comparison on how many new construction homes are being included in this monthly report. So all homes for the month of May, we had 1,243 home sales. And the existing homes were 1,132. So about 100 of all of the home sales this month were from new construction homes. That's for single family homes specifically. And if we come down to, we haven't looked at the condos and townhomes information yet, but we've got a total number of 186 condo and townhome sales. And then 161 of those were existing homes. So 20 new construction condos and townhomes. Not a whole lot. Our market does not have a whole lot of inventory for condos and townhomes. It's there. It's just not as much. It's growing. The average sales price for condos and townhomes in May was $363,170. Last May it was $369,783, so a 1.8% drop from last year. Median sales price in May for condos and townhomes 340,000. Compare that to 365,000 last year. That's a 6.8% decrease from last year. Month supply, same as single family homes, 1.4 months worth of inventory. And if we're going to look at a cumulative year to date summary, for single family homes, we have had 6,430 new listings for the whole year. You compare that to this time last year, we had 8,615. So that's a 25.4% decrease in total number of new listings from last year. Interesting. Sales, same thing, 25.5% drop in sales from last year to this year. So fewer 25% fewer listings and sales. The average sales price has dropped by 2.2% from this time last year, but again, still high. The average sales price is $525,000. That's all for single family. So for condos and townhomes, there were as a 12.1% drop in new listings from last year to this year, a 32% drop in number of sales total from last year to this year. Last year we had 1,003 sales through May, and this year we've had 682. The average sales price has also dropped by 3.4% from last year, from 370K to 357K. This is the monthly sales activity. And again, this is in the Pikes Peak multiple listings system. So this is going to include predominantly El Paso and Teller County as far as sales go. Sometimes things from other counties get input into our system also, but I would not use that as any referential numbers. For more the Denver area, you're going to want to look at the Denver MLS, and I'll do a separate video on that. But this is going to cover predominantly El Paso and Teller County. So you can see on this chart here, you've got the number of listings sold in El Paso County for all of May. We had 1,046 property. Well, this is single family. 1,046 single family homes. In Teller County, you had 53. You can see the median sales price, total dollar volume, median list price, the sales price to list price percentage. So in El Paso County, we're getting 100% on average of what we're asking for. So sellers are getting what they're asking for. And that is really dependent on individual homes as well. This is the average, but individually in our market, I have been seeing properties get 8, 10 offers within the first couple of days still. But I'm also seeing properties that are taking a percentage decrease or a price decrease. And there's a lot of those too. So it's a very strange market in which you're getting both. And I attribute that to that the people who are having to do price reductions just listed too high and they expected too much from the market. And so it's not to say that we're necessarily in, or the people who are sitting on the market for too long having to take those price reductions, they clearly just overpriced. The people who are getting multiple offers, they clearly underpriced, didn't they? Average days on market for El Paso County is 28 days. For Teller County, it's 32 days. And Teller County is getting 99.7% on average of what sellers are asking for. So a little bit less there, but overall, the numbers are showing an increase in what sellers are asking for compared to what they were getting, say, any time in the second half of last year when prices started to take a dip down and it took a little bit longer for things to sell and sellers were not getting quite what they were asking for. We can look at condos and townhomes specifically down here too. Median sales price for condos and townhomes in El Paso County 330,000. For Teller County 499,000. Now granted that's counting 7 total condos and townhomes sold in Teller County this month, but um that gives you an idea of it's a little bit more expensive there. That's the median sales price. Average sales price in El Paso County, 347,115. For Teller County, the average sales price was 443,668. Um, Condos and townhomes in El Paso County are getting 99.7% of their asking price on average. In Teller County, they're getting 98.6%. Average days on market for condos and townhomes is 25 days in El Paso County and 36 in Teller County. We can look at vacant land too. The vacant land, we had a total of 28 properties, 28 listings of vacant land sold in El Paso County, and 24 in Teller County. So that's not too bad. In El Paso County, it's taking an average of 99 days for vacant land to sell, 59 in Teller County. Yeah, that makes sense. It's more in the mountains. It's more perhaps desirable. Depends on where in El Paso County you're selling. If it's out east in the plains, yeah, possibly. But on the whole, it does take longer to sell vacant land, and because the parcels are so different, there's different sizes and different zoning restrictions on what you can do with them. Uh, I'm not really interested so much in what the average and median sales prices are for that, but I'm going to give you the numbers anyway. The median sales price in El Paso County is 161K and 207K for the median price. And for Teller County, it's 30K for the average, 78K for the median. So very different. Sorry, my child is being you need to just bop them around sometimes and move them. Like you have to hold them, like, and you have to stand and do it. You can't sit and hold them because that's not they don't stand for that. It's awful. This chart is a year-to-year chart for the number of homes single family and patio homes, that we have had for sale from May of 2022 to May of 2023. So we'll just follow that and see, May of last year we had 1,360 properties that sold or homes that sold. And we increased that as we went on through the summer and fall months in the 2600s. And then we dropped down to 1400 down, or, we dropped it down in February, but we were dropping all through wintertime in terms of, what sold. And this to me just looks like a seasonal trend. You have a summer high of there's more for sale. That's when more people are typically looking in the spring and summer to buy property, to buy homes. And in the wintertime, that tends to die down. And so we're starting to see that come up again in May. And we've had more sold this May than we have had last May. So what it looks to be here is that this summertime is going to hit big in terms of home sales, assuming that there is more to sell. And this second chart shows you the number of new single family and patio home listings for May, for each May for the past 5 years. So from 2019 to this year, how many new listings did we get for each May? So we've got 1,590 new listings for this May. And if you compare that to the previous 4 years before it, that's low. I mean, it's relatively low. I mean, the new listings for May have been anywhere from 1,800 to 2,200 in the past 4 years, as you can see. So to have almost 1,600, yeah, it's a lower number of new listings. There's just not as much inventory, is what that's telling me. And my take on that is that when we had our mortgage interest rates in the 2 and 3%, everybody that could afford to do anything real estate related and do any purchases with such a low interest rate did. And now there's far less incentive for them to want to sell property because they're going to have to bump up into a higher interest rate if they do that. This next chart is similar, where it's the total number of under contracts for the past years. So again, 1,873 properties under contract for May of this year, and that's a lot lower than the past 4 years, where you were at 25 to 2,800 properties under contract. Again, less inventory, less to have under contract. This is the average days on market from May of last year to May of this year. 11 days on market on average last May, and now we're at 31. So we bumped up during the fall and winter time, and that looks seasonal to me. But also, we're not down at 11 days on for average days on market anymore. We're at 31, so it's still a little bit higher. And 11 days is crazy, but so 31 seems more reasonable, but it's, that is interesting that we're not quite so homes are not moving quite so quickly, even though there is less inventory. Next one, same thing, total sales year to date for mail. Uh, this one is the total year to date sales for past 5 years of May. Again, you got it. So this May, we've had 4,924 total sales for the whole year so far. And that's, again, predictably, obviously, a lot lower than the past 4 years before it. So anywhere from 5,500 to 6,600 total sales year to date in the past 4 years, and now we're only at 4,900. So lower number of sales, lower inventory to be expected. The average and median sales prices, this is year to year, from May to May. So again, we're seeing that trend downward for the fall and winter months, and then it starts to come back up. We're almost at what we were last May in terms of prices. This is the residential home sales, and this is from 2 years ago. So May of 2021 to May of 2023. Everything in that light blue, that whitish blue, is single family properties, and then the red is condos and townhomes. I'll zoom in on that just a little bit. So you can see what we've been doing in terms of number of home sales for the past 2 years. And again, you'll see that seasonal trend, May, June, July, August. You've got 1,800, 1,700 home sales per each month there. And then we dip down into 1,000 for January, February, come back up. May and June of 2022, 1,700 per, coming back down to even lower than the prior year, coming down to the eights and the 700s in terms of home sales per month in December, January, February. And then we come back up a little bit, but we don't quite hit the mark of the past 2 years in terms of number of sales. Again, that inventory is low. This is the last thing that I have to show you, and it is perhaps the most interesting, where you get to see how many properties have taken a price reduction, the percentage of those, and how much of a reduction they took? Ah, yes. So this is broken up in pricing. I wish it was just given to me as total information, but we'll take it as is. So we're going to focus, well, we're just looking at El Paso and Teller counties because, again, that's where we have the majority of the data for this multiple listing service. So you can see how many properties sold for May. This is just for May. In each price range. So from 0 to 200K, 200 to 300, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and it goes up to till you get to a million, and then a million up to 2 million, and then 2 million and up. And so we can see how many properties sold for each of those price ranges. And then the average percentage reduction across the board looks to be between like 3 to 7% of the purchase price. That makes sense. Okay, so when it's saying reductions, that's just telling you the number of price reductions in total for that month for that price range. And then the percentage with the reduction is telling you how many properties have actually taken a price reduction. So in the 4 to 500K range, you've got 29.6% of properties that took a price reduction. You had 256, and this is for active, so everything that's on market now, 256 total properties between 4 and 500K, 105 total reductions between them, at a 29.6% uh, reduction. Or I'm sorry, 29.6% of those properties have taken a price reduction with an average reduction percentage of 2.8%. So let's take a 450K property times, what was it? 2.8%. I can math. $12,600. If your property was $450,000 and you had to take a 2.8% reduction, price reduction, it's $12,600. That makes sense. 10 to 15K is what I would expect to see for a price reduction in that rate that's going to be like taken seriously. 5K and less is, in my opinion, I'm like, okay, why even do that? Like, it's not enough to entice anybody. Like, oh, it's 5K less, and I definitely have to look at it now. So I tell sellers, like, if you're gonna do a price reduction, do at least 10K. But I mean, if you did 15 or 20, like I mean, you just like be serious about it. It doesn't have to be that high, but In the 5 to 600K range, you've got 241 active properties. Between all of those, 130 price reductions. 37.7% of these properties have taken a price reduction, and the average reduction percentage of 3.7%. So let's take a 550K property and give it a 3.7% price reduction. That's 20 grand. Yeah, that's what it's going to take. Six to just under 800K. Um, 295 total listings in El Paso County, 124 reductions between them. 33.5% of those properties have taken a price reduction with a 2.6% average price reduction rate. So 50% of properties in under 200K have taken a price reduction. 36% of properties between 2 and 300K have 38% of properties between 2 and 300K have taken a price reduction. So fascinating. So it's like, basically a quarter to, upwards of 40% ish, 35%, 38% of properties in really any category take a price reduction. So a quarter to a third of properties are taking a price reduction in our housing market. Let's look at Teller County. Far fewer properties to look at, but the results are looking to be 15 to 33%, 36%, in depending on the price point in price reductions, with an average reduction percentage of 2.6 to wow, my goodness, 7%, and that's for under 300K is where you're seeing that big 7%. Interesting. The rest of this is listing analysis. It's just telling you the number of solds in these counties, so that information is not something I'm finding useful here since we've pretty much covered that already. So the data seems pretty straightforward here. We've reached, almost a halfway point for 2023, and the average and median sales prices for properties here in Colorado Springs has increased since about January, and it's picking up the spring and summer pace in terms of demand and in terms of pricing. There's not much that's available for sale right now, and what is available for sale does go. It doesn't go super quick typically, although there are exceptions. Message me. I'll show you like specific examples. 2 days, day of. It's still happening, but it's really dependent upon how listing agents and sellers are pricing their property right now. If you price it, and if you know how if you do price it well and you know what a good market value for your property is going to be, you can play around with that number. And it's at that point you can say, let's list it 10, 20K below that, and we're going to get into a bidding war situation. Great. Let's list it 10, 20K above that, and we're going to sit a while. Let's list it at the price and we're going to be just fine too. And other things obviously come into play, how your property looks, presentation, curb appeal, potential staging, photography, decluttering, all that applies. Message me, comment, DM me if you want to know more about that. But the bottom line is that this market is still in demand. Colorado Springs is still in demand. Nobody has gone anywhere. Buyers kind of went to the wayside in the second half of last year, and you got to see that in the dip in home sales for the second half of 2022, as a lot of buyers got spooked by the increasing interest rates, and they thought, well, I'm going to hold off and wait until the interest rates drop back down. I think they're going to drop back down to the fours. I don't know why they said that, but no, they're not. So, what are we facing right now? The Fed delayed, making a decision on if they're going to increase the interest rates and add basis points. And so we're still hovering in between the sixes and sevens as we have been. And so I my take on this is that a lot of buyers have come around, and what I've seen is a lot of buyers came back into the market and said, okay, I don't think the interest rates are going to actually drop after all. And if they do, I'll just refinance. So let's just do what I wanted to do, buy the property I wanted to buy. And, they're just accepting that this these interest rates and these home prices are the new normal. We've waited a little bit. It hasn't really changed. So we're just kind of going with it, is how well, the feeling that I get. So more buyers have entered the market, and who can with the higher interest rates and the higher home prices here. And those who can't, they ended up going somewhere else or, renting. But in the meantime, yeah, you still have influx here of people from California, Denver, and other places coming to Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs is still a highly desired city to live in. The economic growth has continued. Tech and manufacturing jobs continue to increase here. Our government is still highly interested and invested in Colorado Springs, so our military economy is not going anywhere. So yeah, that's where our market is at. Buyers still want to be here. It's just getting used to the new normal in terms of interest rates and prices. If you have any questions about buying or selling property in the Colorado Springs area, I am a real estate agent here in the state of Colorado. I work primarily in the Colorado Springs area, and I've been in Denver and Pueblo as well. So message me if you would like to know more. My name is Kevin James Bond with Remax Real Estate Group. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.